Welcome to Honeybee, real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name is Bruno. They say you don't truly know a person until life pushes you to your lowest point, and you see how they treat you then. For years, I believed I knew my wife better than anyone. But when my business collapsed, the mask came off, and I saw her true self. The moment she told me that if I couldn't accept her being with my own friends, I should just walk away. I realized a woman I had spent nearly a decade would have been a stranger all along, simply waiting for the right moment to reveal who she really was. Victoria and I had been married for 9 years before everything unraveled. For most of that time, our life had been calm and fairly happy. Then, when my career crumbled, our marriage went down right along with it. I had always believed our relationship was strong, built on mutual respect and shared dreams. I worked as a general contractor, taking on both residential remodels and commercial projects across the metro area. My job was demanding, juggling crews, dealing with suppliers, and managing anxious clients worried about budgets and timelines. But it was fulfilling work. It paid well, and it gave me the satisfaction of building something real with my hands. Victoria, meanwhile, worked as a receptionist at a medical clinic. Her position came with steady hours and reliable benefits, something that balanced out the ups and downs of contracting. Her income, though modest, gave us security during slower months, while my larger paychecks during busy seasons allowed us to save and enjoy a comfortable lifestyle. We fell into a good rhythm. Victoria handled the household finances and daily responsibilities, while I focused on growing my business. Her attention to detail balanced my big-picture focus, and I appreciated how she kept our home life organized while I navigated the chaos of construction. Socially, we had a tight circle of friends, most of them couples we'd met through work, neighbors, or mutual interests. Many were in the same stage of life, building careers, starting families, and enjoying success. Among them were several men who had climbed high in finance, real estate, and corporate management. Their stability allowed their wives to stay home or work part-time, and together they lived in large homes, traveled frequently, and enjoyed the perks of wealth. I never felt jealous of their success. I was proud of what I'd built and content with the life Victoria and I shared. Sure, she sometimes made remarks about their fancy cars or luxury trips, but I always took it as casual observation, not dissatisfaction. That belief shattered the moment my business hit disaster. It started with a commercial renovation, an old warehouse being converted into sleek offices for a tech company. At first, everything was in order: permits, plans, contracts. Work was progressing smoothly until we uncovered massive structural issues, faults the previous owners had hidden. Fixing them meant redesigning the entire project, hiring engineers, and spending a fortune to bring it up to code. The tech company refused to cover those extra costs, insisting I should have caught the issues in my initial inspection. Not only did they reject paying for the new work, but they also withheld payment for everything we'd already completed. Soon, I was being sued for breach of contract, negligence, and damages, claims that demanded far more money than the project had ever been worth. The lawsuit set off a chain reaction. Word spread quickly among clients, suppliers, and contractors. People backed away, projects stalled, and some clients pulled their business entirely. Worst of all, my bonding company, essential for bidding and guaranteeing contracts, canceled my coverage. Without it, I couldn't move forward with most jobs. In just weeks, years of hard work crumbled. Bankruptcy loomed. Debt piled up. The future I had worked so hard to build seemed gone. When I explained this to Victoria, I expected support. Instead, I was blindsided. Her demeanor shifted overnight. The woman who had always been patient during smaller challenges turned cold and hostile when real hardship hit. It felt as though she had been playing a role all along, and the moment our comfort vanished, she dropped the act. The months that followed were brutal. While I fought to keep the business afloat and deal with lawyers, she launched attacks that cut deep. We argued about money constantly, and her words were no longer just complaints. They were assaults on my worth as a man and a husband. She compared me to our wealthy friends, saying they could still provide for their families no matter what. She told me real men wouldn't let setbacks ruin everything. Those words stung more than a lawsuit. Our friends hadn't faced what I was going through. They had steady jobs with guaranteed paychecks. I was battling forces outside my control. Still, I told myself her cruelty came from fear, not contempt. But I was wrong. Over time, her criticisms escalated. She began openly questioning my decisions, my competence, and even my role as head of our household. She told me if I couldn't support her like a husband should, then I didn't deserve a voice in our marriage at all. To her, my worth was measured only in dollars. The breaking point came one Tuesday evening. I walked in after a draining day with creditors and lawyers to find Victoria whispering on the phone. Her low, intimate tone set alarm bells off. The moment she saw me, she hung up abruptly. When I pressed her, she became defensive, claiming it was just a friend. But when I asked which friend and why she needed such secrecy, she lashed out. Then, with venom in her voice, she admitted she had been confiding in someone about what a failure I'd become. She had been sharing details of our struggles, seeking support and advice from someone else. That betrayal hit harder than any lawsuit. She wasn't just venting, she was undermining me. I tried setting boundaries, telling her our issues needed to be worked out between us, not shared with outsiders. But instead of acknowledging her mistake, she went further. "Why does it bother you if I talk to another man?" she sneered. "What if I slept with one of your friends? If you can't handle that, then leave. They're real men. They'd take care of their families. Not like you." Her words cut like a knife. She wasn't just threatening. She was declaring that my failures had stripped me of all value to her. But instead of exploding, I smiled. After months of pain and trying to salvage a broken marriage, her cruelty gave me the clarity I needed. I simply said, "As you wish." She looked stunned. She had expected begging, promises, desperate attempts to win her back. Instead, I accepted the truth. Our marriage was finished. In the days that followed, silence filled our home. While she seemed to wait for me to reverse course, I quietly consulted a divorce lawyer. Despite the debt and complications, I was determined to end things quickly and cleanly. When she was finally served papers, her shock was almost laughable. The woman who dared me to leave if I couldn't accept her infidelity now cried that I was being cruel, unfair, and overreacting. She insisted she never meant it, that her threats were just words born out of frustration. But I couldn't unhear what she had said. She hadn't just complained. She had mocked me, compared me to other men, and dangled betrayal in front of me as if it were reasonable. That wasn't frustration. That was who she truly was. The divorce turned messy. She swung between begging for reconciliation and playing the victim. Her lawyer argued her words were just stress talking. But the steady decline of her behavior showed otherwise. This wasn't temporary. She had been eroding our marriage from the inside long before the final blow. At the same time, I was still drowning in my business lawsuit. Those months were the hardest of my life. 2 battles at once, draining every ounce of money, energy, and spirit I had left. But eventually, both wars ended. The divorce was finalized, and about 5 months later, I settled the lawsuit out of court. The terms weren't ideal. I lost money and faced restrictions. But at least it spared me bankruptcy and let me begin rebuilding. Slowly, I picked up small jobs, working to repair my reputation and regain trust. It wasn't easy, but I knew I could rise again. The experience had taught me more about resilience, loyalty, and true character than any success ever could. Looking back, I see Victoria for who she really was. Her love had always been conditional, bought by financial security. The moment that vanished, so did her loyalty. Her cruel remark about my friends being real men showed how shallow her values were, equating masculinity only with money and status, not integrity or perseverance. The truth is, she did me a favor. By revealing her real self, she freed me from a relationship built on false foundations. It hurt, but it also liberated me, because real strength isn't measured by bank accounts. Real love doesn't vanish when life gets hard. And real partners don't go shopping for replacements when storms come. They stand with you and face them together. Her betrayal was devastating, but it marked the start of something better. A second chance to rebuild my business, my life, and myself on something real. And this time, I will stand stronger than ever.